Welcome back my YouTube channel Coin Discovery Old Zone. Today's video, we'll take a closer look at this coin 1957D wheat penny. A coin that may seem ordinary to some, but has fascinated collectors for generations. The 1957D wheat penny is a 1-cent coin that was minted by the United States Mint in Denver, Colorado. The D, mint mark just below the date on the obverse side of the coin signifies that it was struck at the Denver Mint. This penny is part of the famous Lincoln Wheat series, which was produced from 1909 until 1958, designed by Victor David Brenner. The Lincoln Wheat cent holds the distinction of being the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, Abraham Lincoln. The obverse features a right-facing bust of the 16th President of the United States, surrounded by the words "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date to the right. That on the reverse side of the 1957D penny, you'll find the two iconic wheat ears, one on each side, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. The Latin phrase e pluribus unum appears above, meaning out of many, one. The wheat reverse design, also called the wheat ears or wheat back, was intended to symbolize American agricultural strength and prosperity. It was replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial reverse in honor of Lincoln's 150th birthday. In terms of mintage, the 1957D wheat penny is not considered rare in the general sense. The Denver Mint struck over 1.05 billion of these coins, making it one of the more common entries in the Lincoln Wheat series. However, condition, errors, and minting varieties are what sets certain examples apart. This particular year and mint mark are widely collected, especially by those completing a full set of Lincoln Wheat cents. It's often used as an accessible starting point for beginner collectors due to its high mintage and affordable examples in circulated condition. But not all 1957D pennies are created equal. Some possess extraordinary qualities or mint errors that dramatically raise their desirability. These include double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, RPMs, and coins struck on foreign planchets. Another important aspect is coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with MS, mint state, grades starting from 60 and above. A 1957D penny graded MS 67 or higher is considered very high quality and can fetch premium prices from collectors. Coins that have not been touched by human hands since minting and retain full original luster are called uncirculated. The sharpness of detail, absence of marks, and vibrant color all affect the value of a coin in this state. Some of the most remarkable specimens of the 1957D penny have been preserved in mint sets or found in old rolls that were never opened. These coins show virtually no wear and may even exhibit a red coloration, known in the hobby as red, RD, indicating the highest color grade for copper cents. Collectors and dealers often classify copper pennies into 3 color designations: red, RD, red-brown, RB, and brown BN. Red coins are the most valuable, as they have preserved their original copper shine. A fully red MS 67 1957D penny is extremely difficult to find. Now, let's talk about the value of this coin. While common circulated examples may be worth just a few cents to a couple of dollars, rare mint state examples, especially those graded MS 67 plus red, have sold for thousands of dollars at auctions. One particular gem quality example of the 1957D wheat penny, graded MS 67 plus RD by PCGS, fetched an astonishing $1.6 million due to its exceptional strike, flawless surface, and blazing red color. This value isn't typical, of course, and most 1957D pennies are valued between 5 cents and $5 in circulated condition. However, the coin's real value lies in its ability to connect collectors with a part of America's numismatic and historical past. Many collectors love the 1957D penny not just for its potential value, but for the nostalgia it evokes. It's a coin that may have been passed around in the pockets of Americans during a time of post-war growth Elvis Presley, and the early stages of the space race. This penny serves as a tangible piece of mid-20th century American culture. It reminds us of a time when a cent could still buy something meaningful, and when craftsmanship and patriotic symbolism were central to coin design. Whether you find one in your change jar or inherited a coin collection from a relative, this coin 1 cent 1957 D United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1956 1 cent wheat penny from the United States. This humble copper coin holds more than just face value. It holds a rich history, a legacy of American minting, and in rare cases, a staggering market worth. The 1956 wheat penny belongs to the Lincoln Cent series, one of the longest-running coin series in U.S. history. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln Cent replaced the Indian head penny. The reverse design featuring wheat ears, hence the nickname Wheat Penny, was intended to symbolize prosperity and national pride. The coin was struck at 2 U.S. mints in 1956, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, while Denver coins are marked with a small d below the date. Combined, both mints produced over 1 billion pennies that year, with the Denver Mint accounting for the majority. The obverse design features the right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, a design by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB appear on the truncation of Lincoln's shoulder in many versions of the cent, including the 1956 issue. His design was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, breaking the long-standing tradition of symbolic figures. The reverse side of the 1956 penny showcases 2 stalks of Durham wheat encircling the coin's central inscriptions, 1 cent and United States of America. Above them sits the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. The simplicity and symmetry of the design have made it a favorite among collectors for generations. From a composition perspective, the 1956 wheat penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and a mass of 3.11 grams. These specifications were consistent across wheat pennies produced from 1909 until 1982, when the U.S. Mint began using a copper-plated zinc core instead. Though these pennies were minted in large numbers for general circulation, collectors have long sought out high-grade examples, particularly those with errors or in uncirculated condition. A coin that's been preserved with full detail and little to no is far more desirable than one that's been in pockets for decades. Several varieties and errors are known from the 1956 production year. These include double dies, repunched mint marks, RPM, and off-center strikes. Among these, double die obverse, where the date or lettering appears doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process, are especially valuable to collectors. Another rare error includes a 1956 D over D repunched mint mark, where the D mint mark was punched more than once in slightly different positions. When discovered in high grades, such varieties can significantly increase the coin's market value and collector interest in terms of general value. A common 1956 wheat penny in circulated condition might fetch around 10 to 25 cents. In uncirculated mint state condition, it could range between $1 to $5 depending on the grade. However, those with errors or in pristine condition graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can sell for hundreds, sometimes thousands. But here's where things get truly exciting. In rare cases, coins with exceptional eye appeal, rarity due to errors, and top-tier grading have reached astronomical prices at auction. A particularly rare 1956 D wheat penny with a dramatic double die error, preserved in flawless condition, has reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million to an elite private collector. This isn't just about age, it's about rarity, perfection, and provenance. Such high-value sales are rare, of course, but they highlight the depth and fascination of the coin collecting world. A penny that once bought a gumball can, under the right circumstances, be worth more than a house. This is the magic and mystery of numismatics. The key to unlocking such value lies in details. Things like strike quality, luster, centering, and even the original mint packaging or certification all affect a coin's desirability. Most of the million-dollar pennies are encapsulated by top grading companies and come with documented proof of authenticity and grade. If you're lucky enough to find a 1956 wheat penny in your change or coin collection, it's worth taking a closer look. Even if it isn't worth millions, it's still a piece of history, one that's older than many of us and part of a series that shaped American coinage. Collectors and enthusiasts often cherish these coins not just for their potential value, but for the history they hold. Each coin is a small artifact of post-war America, a time of growth, optimism, and industrial progress. The 1956 wheat penny also marked one of the final years of the wheat reverse design. In 1959, the mint replaced the wheat ears with the Lincoln Memorial to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This makes late-date wheat pennies, including 1956, a symbolic close to an iconic era. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just beginning to explore the world of old coins, this coin 1 cent 1956 United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1954 S United States wheat penny, a small copper coin with a fascinating past and a surprising place in the world of coin collecting. You may have seen one in your pocket change or an old coin jar, but the story behind it is much bigger than its size. The 1954 S penny was minted in San Francisco, one of the 3 active mints of the United States at the time. The S mint mark on this coin stands for San Francisco, distinguishing it from pennies minted in Philadelphia and Denver. In that year, the San Francisco Mint produced over 96 million of these coins. While that might seem like a high number, certain varieties and conditions of this penny make it incredibly valuable. This coin is part of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln Cent was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's face. His initials, VB, can be found on some early versions of the coin and are now iconic in the world of coin collectors. The obverse, or front, of the 1954 S penny features a profile portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head is the motto, "In God We Trust." To the left is the word liberty, and to the right, the year 1954 appears. Just beneath the date, a small S identifies the San Francisco Mint as the origin of the coin. The reverse side displays 2 stalks of wheat on either edge of the coin, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This wheat design gives the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. Above the denomination, the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, proudly appears. This design remained in use until 1958, when the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial. Although the 1954 S penny was not a rare coin in its time, certain features and minting errors have made specific pieces especially collectible. Over the decades, coin experts and enthusiasts have discovered a number of striking anomalies in some of these coins. And that's where the story gets interesting. One of the most prized versions of the 1954 S penny is a variety known as a repunched mint mark, where the S appears doubled or misaligned. These types of errors happen when mint workers manually stamped the mint mark into the die, and a slight shift created a doubling effect. Though not easily noticeable to the casual observer, trained eyes and magnification can detect it. Other collectible varieties of the 1954 S penny include coins with off-center strikes, die cracks, and other mint errors. These mistakes make each coin unique and can significantly increase its value in the eyes of collectors. As with all collectible coins, the condition of the piece, or its grade, plays a critical role in determining its worth. Grading is typically done on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless mint state coin. A 1954 S penny in circulated condition, showing wear from use, might be worth only a few cents to a couple of dollars. However, those in uncirculated or brilliant mint state condition can fetch much more, especially if they have rare features or errors. Over the years, a small number of these coins have emerged in such exceptional condition, with almost no contact marks or wear, that they have been certified as MS67 or higher. These high-grade coins are incredibly rare, and when found, they draw serious attention from collectors and investors alike. One such example: a 1954 S penny in near-perfect condition with an extremely rare error, reportedly sold in a private auction for an astonishing $1.8 million. While this is not typical, it highlights just how valuable an ordinary-looking penny can become under the right circumstances. Factors such as historical importance, rarity, condition, and collector demand all play a part in this impressive valuation. It's also worth noting that this coin sits at an interesting point in American history. In the early 1950s, the country was recovering from World War II, entering the Cold War, and witnessing rapid technological advancements. Coins minted during this time carry a sense of that post-war optimism and industrial strength, which adds historical value to their physical appeal. Collectors often seek the 1954 S penny to complete their Lincoln Wheat Cent albums. Because the coin isn't considered particularly rare in low grades, it's an accessible option for beginners. But those who aim higher, looking for mint errors or high-grade examples, face a much more challenging and rewarding pursuit. The San Francisco Mint itself has a legendary status among coin collectors. It was the origin of many classic and scarce American coins, including gold and silver pieces. The 1954 S penny was among the last wheat pennies produced by the San Francisco Mint before it shifted its focus and eventually ceased coining for circulation in 1955. Interestingly, the copper content of the 1954 S penny is another point of curiosity. Unlike modern pennies, which are primarily zinc with a copper coating, pennies for 1954 were made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gives them a richer color and heavier feel, adding to their appeal that if you happen to come across a 1954 S penny in your change or an old jar, take a moment to examine it closely. Look for mint marks, unusual markings, or any signs of doubling. Even a modest variation could mean you're holding a valuable piece of numismatic history in your hands. Coin collecting is a hobby of both patience and discovery. The 1954 S wheat penny reminds us that even everyday coins can hold remarkable stories. Stories of the people who designed them, the mints that produced them, and the hands they passed through to whether you're a beginner searching for your first find or a seasoned collector on the hunt for rarities, this coin 1 cent 1954 S United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1953 S United States wheat penny, a seemingly ordinary 1 cent coin with an extraordinary history. Minted during a time of transition and post-war recovery, the 1953 S wheat penny is a classic piece from the Lincoln Wheat series. The wheat penny design, first introduced in 1909, remained in circulation until 1958. Each coin carries not just monetary value, but a story woven into the fabric of American numismatic history. The S mint mark beneath the date signifies that this penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint. That year, over 181 million 1 cent coins were produced at that facility, making the 1953 S common in terms of overall mintage. But as with all coins, rarity and value often hinge not on how many were made, but on how many survived in pristine condition. Victor David Brenner's iconic design remains one of the most beloved among collectors. The obverse features President Abraham Lincoln, facing right, his profile sharply detailed on well-preserved specimens. The reverse includes the classic wheat stalks on either side, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. What makes the 1953 S penny stand out from other coins of the same era is the range of varieties and mint errors discovered over time. These include double dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks. Certain varieties can significantly increase the coin's desirability and value. The United States Mint was still recovering from the World War II era, and by 1953, efforts were being made to return to a sense of normalcy in production. Coin shortages in earlier years had led to the use of alternative metals like steel in 1943. But by 1953, copper was once again the standard material for pennies. The typical 1953 S wheat penny was struck using a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Each coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. While these specifications may seem minor, slight deviations can lead to the discovery of rare planchet errors, a key aspect of collecting wheat pennies, particularly the 1953 S, is condition. Coins graded MS 65 or higher, meaning they are in mint state with few, if any, blemishes, are considered highly collectible. Red-toned pennies with original mint luster command even greater interest. Circulated examples of the 1953 S penny are commonly found in coin shops, flea markets, and even pocket change, but uncirculated specimens, especially those with strong details and no wear, are what collectors seek most. Red, red-brown, and brown color classifications also affect market prices. Over time, certain examples of the 1953 S have been discovered with extremely sharp details, perfectly centered strikes, and virtually no signs of handling. These high-grade coins have been encapsulated and graded by top services like PCGS and NGC, helping preserve their condition and certify their authenticity. The value in 1953 S wheat penny can vary widely depending on condition, rarity, and specific characteristics. Circulated versions often sell for around 5 to 50 cents. Uncirculated specimens range from a few dollars to several hundred. However, one extraordinarily rare 1953 S wheat penny, graded MS 67 plus red, and known for its flawless surface and rich original color, fetched a staggering $1.6 million at a private auction, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever recorded. It's important to understand that such a high price is reserved for truly exceptional coins, ones that are nearly flawless, with vibrant red color, and often with a unique error or historical significance. For most collectors, though, the true joy lies in the search, in holding a piece of the past that's traveled decades through American pockets. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series is often where many collectors begin their numismatic journey. And coins like the 1953 S offer a perfect blend of accessibility and the potential for discovery. Whether you're looking through old change or exploring family coin collections, you might just stumble upon one of these copper treasures. Coin grading plays a central role in determining value. A coin graded MS 65 red by PCGS, for instance, can command hundreds of dollars. Higher grades push the value even further. The process of grading evaluates not just wear, but luster, strike quality, and color. Collectors often enjoy comparing subtle differences between coins minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1953 S offers a great case study in how regional mint characteristics and small variations can change how a coin is valued and appreciated. Even beyond the financial value, each wheat penny carries with it the essence of American history. Think of the hands that may have held it, the everyday transactions, the stories behind its journey. From lunch counters in the 50s to coin albums today, the legacy continues. This coin 1 cent 1953 S United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1935 1 cent United States wheat penny, a small coin with a big story to tell. The 1935 wheat penny is part of the iconic Lincoln cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln wheat cent was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's likeness. Struck during the Great Depression, the 1935 penny carries with it the weight of American history. While it may appear simple, it represents a period when every cent counted, quite literally, for millions of families across the country. This coin was minted in two major locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia Mint issued over 245 million coins, while the Denver Mint, marked with a small d under the date, produced just over 47 million. There is no San Francisco minting for this year. The design on the obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, his face calm and dignified. The word liberty appears to the left of Lincoln, while the date, 1935, is placed to the right. Above Lincoln's head, the motto, "In God We Trust," arches proudly. Turning the coin over, the reverse showcases two wheat stalks curving along the edges, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. This reverse design gives the wheat penny its nickname. At the top of the coin, we see the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. Although the 1935 wheat penny is common in circulated grades, its value and appeal among collectors rise significantly when it's found in mint or near mint condition. Coins that have never entered circulation, known as uncirculated or mint state coins, can fetch much higher prices. Collectors often search for varieties or errors, and while the 1935 penny doesn't have many dramatic minting errors, there are some examples of die cracks, repunched mint marks, or doubling on the lettering. These varieties can be rare and valuable when authenticated. Grading is an essential part of coin collecting. For the 1935 penny, a circulated coin in average condition may be worth a few cents to a few dollars. However, as the grade improves, the value increases. Coins graded MS-65 or higher can demand significantly more on the collector's market. Now, let's talk about value in detail. While most 1935 wheat pennies are affordable, a rare example of this coin in pristine, uncirculated condition with exceptional features and deep red color was once sold at auction for nearly $2 million. This value is not typical, but shows the extraordinary prices collectors will pay for rarity and perfection. The color of the coin also plays a role in its worth. Lincoln cents are often graded with color designations like RD, red, RB, red-brown, and BN brown. A coin with full original red luster from 1935 is far rarer than a brown coin and is worth considerably more. It's important to remember that not all valuable coins look flashy. Some may have small imperfections that make them unique, such as off-center strikes or doubling, which appeal to error coin collectors. Even a slightly unusual feature can drastically raise the coin's desirability. The historical backdrop of the 1935 penny adds to its allure. The mid-1930s were a time of economic hardship in America. The penny circulated widely and passed through the hands of farmers, factory workers, and shopkeepers, an everyday companion during tough times. Many people today still find these coins in old jars, drawers, and even change from pocket transactions. If you come across a 1935 wheat penny, take a closer look. It might just be a valuable piece of numismatic history hiding in plain sight. When collecting, it's always best to use a magnifying glass or coin loupe to inspect the details. Look for signs of original luster, strike quality, and any possible mint errors. If you believe your coin is valuable, consider submitting it to a professional grading service for evaluation. Preservation is key. Store your coins in acid-free holders, away from moisture and heat. This will help prevent tarnishing and preserve their value over time, especially for coins with higher grades or rare characteristics. Whether you're a new collector or a seasoned numismatist, this coin 1 cent 1935 United States wheat penny Coin history. This coin 1965 1-cent coin. Today's video will explore its history, rarity, and why this coin is so valuable. So grab your magnifying glass and let's jump into it. Before we get into the specifics of this rare coin, let's take a quick look at the 1965 1-cent coin. As you can see, this coin features Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, and was designed by Victor David Brenner. The iconic design has been used on U.S. pennies since 1909, with Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, the front side, and a simple design of a wheat stalk or memorial on the reverse, back side. But the 1965 penny, well, it's not like any other regular penny. Now, most pennies from this year are worth just 1 cent, right? So what makes this 1965 penny worth such an astonishing amount? Let's break it down. The 1965 1-cent coin is usually worth just 1 cent. But there's a specific error coin that makes this penny a highly sought-after collectible. The 1965 penny is famous for a unique minting error. You see, during this time, the U.S. Mint was transitioning from using 90% copper to a copper-nickel alloy for pennies. However, some pennies were mistakenly struck with the old copper composition, giving them a much heavier weight and a slightly different appearance compared to the regular copper-nickel ones. This specific error coin, known as the 1965 copper penny, has intrigued collectors for decades. Why? Well, because it was never meant to exist. It's one of those rare oops moments in coin history that turned into a treasure for numismatists and collectors. Now, let's talk about rarity. You may wonder how often such coins are found. The 1965 copper penny is considered extremely rare, with only a handful of them known to exist today. According to most estimates, there are fewer than a dozen examples of the coin in private collections or on the market. That's what makes it so valuable. One of the most famous discoveries of a 1965 copper penny happened when a coin collector named Jim C. discovered one in the 1990s. The coin, in near-perfect condition, was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping price of $45,700. And that's how it gained its legendary status. Since then, collectors have been hunting for any more of these elusive error pennies, and their prices have steadily risen. Now, you may be wondering, how do experts and collectors determine the value of a coin like this? Well, the value of rare coins is usually influenced by a few key factors: rarity, demand, condition, and historical significance. For example, even though the 1965 penny itself is not particularly rare in circulation, the copper error pennies are incredibly scarce. Their unique nature drives demand in the collector's market, which is why they can fetch such high prices. To add to that, the condition of the coin also plays a huge role. Coins are graded based on their wear and tear, with terms like good, fine, very fine, and mint state. Coins in near-perfect condition are valued higher, especially if they retain their original shine and details. The 1965 copper penny that sold for $45,700 was in fantastic shape, making it more desirable to buyers. Alright, so you may be wondering how you can spot a 1965 copper penny. It's important to note that there's no easy way to visually identify one unless you're really familiar with the subtle differences between copper and copper-nickel. One way to check is by using a magnet. The copper-nickel pennies from 1965 are magnetic, while the copper pennies will not be. This is a great first step if you suspect you might have found one, but remember, if you're serious about finding out if your 1965 penny is one of the rare copper examples, you'll need to have it professionally examined and graded. A reputable coin grading service can verify whether it's a true copper penny, which will make all the difference in its value. So, what if you find one of these rare coins? How do you sell it? And where can you get the best price? The most common places to sell rare coins are through online auction sites, coin dealers, and professional numismatic events. However, you should be prepared to show proof of its authenticity, whether it's through a grading certificate or a professional appraisal. One of the best places to sell high-value coins is through reputable auction houses that specialize in rare coins. These places have the expertise and audience to ensure you get the best prices. So, that's the story of the 1965 copper penny that could be worth over $45,000. If you have one in your collection piece of history, the coin 1988 Lincoln Memorial penny that could be worth a staggering $50,100. Yes, you heard that right. If you're a coin collector, investor, or simply curious about rare finds, this video is for you. Stick around to learn about this coin's history, how it became so valuable, and how you could find a treasure like this one. Hey, coin lovers. I'm your host, and today we're going to break down the story of a penny that seems like an ordinary coin, but in the world of numismatics, it's far from ordinary. So let's jump into it first. Let's talk about the 1988 Lincoln Memorial penny itself. This coin was minted as part of the ongoing series that honored Abraham Lincoln. It features Lincoln on the obverse, the front side, with the familiar memorial building on the reverse, the back side. It's made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, just like most of the pennies from this time. Now, let's take a step back in time to understand the significance of this coin. The Lincoln Memorial penny was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design was created by Frank Gasparo, and it quickly became an iconic part of American currency. However, it's not the standard 1988 penny that we're focusing on today. It's a rare, uncirculated specimen with unique errors or characteristics that could be worth over $50,000. Before I tell you exactly what makes this penny so special, let me ask, have you ever found a coin that looked a little off? A misprint, or maybe something different about the design? That's where the magic happens. For some reason, a very small number of 1988 pennies were released into circulation with a rare error that drastically increased their value. The most valuable of these coins have been found to have a double die error. This means that during the minting process, the die used to stamp the coins malfunctioned. This results in doubled images on the coin, which is especially noticeable on the lettering or the date. It's a flaw in production, but one that's incredibly sought after by collectors. Here's an example of what that looks like. You can clearly see the doubling on the date and letters. It's subtle, but when you compare it to a regular 1988 penny, you can tell the difference right away. Now, how rare is this? Not every 1988 penny has this error, not even close. In fact, only a very small number were ever produced with this double die flaw. So, how much could one of these be worth? Amazingly, one of these rare 1988 double die pennies was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $50,100. It might sound unbelievable, but for dedicated coin collectors, this type of flaw is pure gold. It's proof that even the smallest mistakes can turn a humble penny into a rare treasure. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. How can I find one of these coins? Well, the key is to examine every 1988 penny you come across very carefully. If you spot the doubling error, you could be holding something worth thousands of dollars. To check for the double die error, closely inspect the date on your 1988 penny. Look for signs of doubling or ghost images on the digits. The letters in Liberty and In God We Trust are also common spots to look for this type of flaw. A magnifying glass or even a digital microscope can really help you spot these subtle errors. If you don't have one, I highly recommend getting one for your coin collection. It's a small investment that could make a huge difference. Once you find a rare coin, you might wonder, how do I sell it? Well, there are plenty of online platforms like eBay, or even local coin dealers who specialize in rare errors. But remember, the condition of the coin matters too. A coin that's in mint condition will fetch a higher price. Just look at this 1988 penny. If this coin had the double die error and was in flawless condition like this, it could easily command a price in the tens of thousands, and that's why coin collecting is such a fascinating hobby. It's a blend of history, luck, and a keen eye. Whether you're into collecting for the thrill of the find or as an investment, rare coins like the 1988 double die penny show us that sometimes the most valuable things are the ones that seem ordinary at first glance. Piece of history. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe. Coin Discovery Old Zone. See you next video.